Are you consistently finding yourself screaming at your monitor? Are you finding your Xbox controller flying out the window, your PS4 controller smashing windows, and finally your foot firmly planted in the middle of your PC tower? If so, the rage has gotten too much, and I think this video might be able to help you out a little bit. Now, what's going on, everybody? I hope you're all well, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at not only how to win the majority of your 1v1 gunfights and how to improve that gun skill overall, but we're also going to be taking a look at the Luna's Howl specifically, and if you've just acquired it, how to use it effectively, because for the most part, if you've just got it at this moment, a lot of people have had it for a lot longer than you, so they're going to be better equipped to use it, and you're going to find out that there's a little bit of a learning curve to the gun, and just a few tips and tricks that are going to allow you to outgun other Luna's Howl users. First things first, there's no need to fanny around. Tip number 1, actively playing. Now, I know what you're thinking here. What the hell kind of a tip is this? I'm clicking off the video. Just hold your horses and bear with me. What I mean by actively playing is making sure you're taking note of what's happening around you. Now, you could work the same job for 30 years, and if you just do the exact same thing every single day, yes, you're going to get better at that one specific thing that you're doing, but you're not going to grow overall. And that's similar to how the Crucible is. If you go in every single day doing the exact same thing you've done before, yes, you're going to gain a little bit more extra gun skill, yes, you're going to gain a little bit of extra game knowledge and game sense, but you're not going to develop as a player nowhere near as much as you could as if you're going into every single game and really thinking and actively taking part in that game, thinking, wow, how could I have improved on that situation there? Wow, he's just killed me there. How could I have beaten him? If I go into this situation again, could I do this? Could I do that? Now, you really have to be willing to change in order to make these changes in the Crucible. You can't just go in and go with the motion. So that's tip number 1, making sure that if you are going to commit to this, you actually do commit to it and basically try and implement these next tips that I'm going to be giving to you, and taking every game as it comes and making sure you're trying your best in every single one of them to improve. Tip number 2, cover. Now, this is something, granted, that I have only just started implementing to my game, and I never used to use it as much as I could. Now, Destiny's definitely in a state now where peak shotting is very, very effective. Now, what I mean by this is, when you're getting into a gunfight, you want to always try and make sure that you're next to a piece of cover, whether it's a wall on your right, a box on your left. You want to make sure that you're close to it and holding the tightest angle possible, so that if an opponent wants to shoot you and you start losing that gunfight, you can disengage to the left or the right relatively easily and quickly and get out of that gunfight and reset for the next one. Now, another big benefit of being next to cover like this is for the fact that you can peek shot. Now, what I mean by this is you can burst out, take a shot at your enemy, and then burst back into cover. So when they're shooting you, they're most likely going to miss, then you're going to pop back out, hit them again. And yes, if using the Luna's Howl in this situation and you've hit the first 2 shots as headshots, you'll pop out on the 3rd shot and most likely kill them with a, well, you'll definitely kill them with a headshot, most likely kill them with a body shot depending on the range that you're at. And that's how you want to make sure you're using peek shotting. You want to make sure that you're limiting the amount of time that your opponent has to shoot you, and this is also going to throw off their rhythm because they're not going to necessarily know when you're going to pop back out. You can change the timings of it, and it's going to give you a big advantage. Now, if you're not that advanced to start using peek shotting just yet, just try and make sure that every single engagement that you're going into, think, wow, is there a piece of cover nearby? Can I get next to it? And that's the little tip that I can give you that's really going to start helping your game overall. It's going to allow you to survive a lot more engagements, and it's also going to allow you to start implementing peek shotting into your game, which is going to help you win a lot more 1v1s that you otherwise would have lost if you was not using it. So make sure you're looking at the map around you and you're getting ready for every engagement by having a piece of cover next to you. Now, hunters are at an advantage here because you have the dodge, so you can basically roll back into cover, but for other classes this is very, very effective. Tip number 3 is going to be your strafing and or crouch shotting. Now, in first person shooters, your strafe is when you're aiming down sight. You want to make sure that you're also moving your character while shooting left to right and in different unpredictable patterns. Now, the reason why this is good, you'll definitely see people do this in the game, and you might be doing it yourself already without realizing it, but basically you don't want to make yourself an easy target. So if you're standing directly still, it's a lot easier to land consistent headshots on you, and especially with the Luna's Howl, this is so important now because most people are going to be using the Luna's Howl / Not Forgotten at the moment. The way the gun works, if you land 2 constant headshots and then the 3rd one, they're going to basically kill you. So if you're able to make them miss one of them shots, it's going to turn the Luna's Howl from a consistent 3-shot kill to a definite 4-shot kill, potentially 5 if they hit you in the body rather than the head. And this is absolutely massive, because if you're able to make them miss one of them shots by strafing left to right or crouching, you're then going to be able to still implement your 3 shots if you're accurate, and then clean up that gunfight that you otherwise would have lost. Now, I've started to try and implement a lot more crouch shotting into my game, and I'm showing you a clip in the background of this right now. There's an example here where I get shot first. So in reality, if this person's using the Luna's Howl, I should be losing this gunfight because they've landed the first shot. I basically need this opponent to miss a shot on me, otherwise I'm dead to rights here. So what I do is I strafe left, I strafe right, and what I've started to practice doing on my last shot of the Luna's Howl, I crouch. So on my 3rd shot, I crouch here, making him miss his shot, and then finally I'm able to actually hit my headshot and clean him up and win that gunfight. Now, I definitely would have lost that gunfight there if I wasn't strafing and or crouching. So you definitely want to start and try to implement this into your game. I'd say it's definitely more difficult to start crouching and crouch shotting, because you need to basically either have a scuff controller, the Xbox Elite, or play on PC, and or use the claw method. Now, the claw method is basically where you use your finger to press the A and B buttons and the X and Y button, I think it is on PS4. So there's lots of videos online on how to actually play the claw, but it's kind of difficult to get used to, but it's something that's definitely going to help take your game to the next level if you start strafing correctly, unpredictable patterns, left to right, and also trying to implement a crouch shot into your game. Making your opponent miss is just as important as landing your own shots in a gunfight. Tip number 4, learning your range. Now, this is important for every single weapon type in Destiny. Even if you're shotgunning, you need to know where your 1-shot lethal kill range is, and that's going to allow you to win way more shotgun engagements. And this applies definitely to hand cannons, and this is especially useful when using the Luna's Howl. You're going to quickly realise when you first pick up this weapon and start using it, anything from close to mid-range, this thing absolutely shreds through and has an insanely quick time to kill. But if your opponent takes 1 step too far backwards and they slightly dip their toe into the long range, my god, you feel like you're firing peanuts at them. The gun drops off dramatically and it turns the gun into basically a pea-firing machine. So you need to be incredibly clear of where your optimum kill time range is, and what I mean by this is the max distance you can still kill with 3 shots, and you want to try and make sure that you limit all of your engagements where possible to this distance. Now, this is granted something that's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but it's going to dramatically change the amount of gunfights you win, and also dramatically decrease your amount of deaths. The amount of times I used to go around a corner and try and engage someone where I wasn't in my optimum kill time range, and I would lose that gunfight purely because my opponent was in their optimum range and I was not. It doesn't matter if I still landed all of my shots, it wasn't possible for me to kill them in my optimum time to kill time because I was out of range. So it's dramatically important that you guys are able to understand at what range you can still kill within your optimum time to kill, and start playing to that strength. If you're on a big map, you want to try and make sure that you're playing the inside of that map, sticking to the angles where you know opponents are going to be engaging you at the optimum kill time. And also, if you're on a big open map and you are outside, try and make sure you're utilising the cover around you, so you're only going to be meeting your opponent again at the optimum kill time range. There's not really a tip I can give you here in terms of finding out that range. It's literally something that you're just going to pick up from playing with the gun, but if you're aware of it, you're going to take note a lot quicker of where this kill time is and where this range is, and just have that in your back of your mind. Think, this person seems a bit too far away here. Do I really want to peek this corner? And if you're questioning it, if you go around the corner at point and you die, then at least you're learning, okay, yes, next time I see when they're there and I'm here, I definitely know I can't engage them. And you're going to start picking up very quickly where you can kill people in that optimum time to kill range, and it's going to make you a lot more effective. It's going to stop you throwing away silly deaths to things like pulse rifles and the ace of spades. And also, if you're coming up across a team that are using the Not Forgotten at the high ranks of competitive, my god, this is incredibly important, because the Not Forgotten is just a better version of Luna's Howl with a bit more range tacked on. But the second that the Not Forgotten comes in Luna's Howl range, they're basically the exact same gun, so you're on a level playing field. So as long as you're keeping it to them close ranges and their medium ranges, you're going to be absolutely fine. So this tip does apply to all guns, but I've just gone into a bit more detail on the Luna's Howl here. But if you want to use the bygones, you want to use a pulse rifle, make sure you're learning that optimum time to kill range and trying to get every single one of your gunfights happening at that range. And here we find ourselves at the almighty tip number 5, and this is definitely the easiest tip to implement and one that you can start implementing into your game right now, and you're going to see instant results. And that is, for the love of God, stop sprinting around the map. Now you may be thinking, what kind of a difference does this make? But hear me out, it makes a massive difference. The sprint has an animation time, and if you run around a corner and an enemy is present, there's going to be a period of time where you can't do anything, where you can't draw your gun, where you can't look at your enemy because you're in that animation. And when you're caught in that animation, your enemy is still free to move, so they're obviously going to start absolutely firing bullets towards your head very quickly, and you're going to end up losing the majority of your gunfights because you're not able to turn, you're not able to aim, you're not able to do anything. Now what you need to do to stop doing this is pretty simple: to stop sprinting. Whenever you see a red dot around you on your map, you need to make sure that you're stopping sprinting so you're ready to react. Now whether that's in an aggressive way or a defensive way, either is better than the latter, what you're doing at the moment. You see an enemy is on your map and you're about to round a corner, stop sprinting so that you can gently round the corner, use the cover advantage like I spoke about earlier. You can see where that enemy is, you can decide to shoot them or disengage them. Now the issue is, if you run around the corner and you're sprinting, you're going to be caught in that animation. Even if you want to disengage, it's already going to be too late, and you're most likely not going to be able to get back into cover in time before they kill you. So this is a small tip that can definitely help your overall level of play. Just make sure whenever someone's highlighted on your minimap and you think you're going to be within their line of sight, you're stopping sprinting so you're able to react. Now you only have to stop sprinting for a short amount of time and decide whether you actually need to. Do I need to shoot this opponent? Do I need to disengage? Do I need to go another way around? And then obviously you can get back to your sprinting and navigating around the map. But just bear this in mind: if you're moving around the map at speed, just bear in mind that the second you see someone on your minimap and they're going to be in your line of sight, just have a quick stop. What do I need to do next? And then obviously carry on with your navigating around the map. But this is a little tip that you can definitely start using. But that's pretty much been it from me, guys. There have been the 5 tips to hopefully help you win more gunfights. The first one is actively playing, making sure you're using cover effectively, starting to strafe and using crouch shots, making sure you're learning your optimum time to kill range for your weapon that you're using, and then finally stopping sprinting. Now I really hope that these tips have helped you out, and I'm sure they actually will if you do start to use them in your overall Crucible gameplay. Now if you guys have any other good tips, please let me know what they are down in the comments down below so we can all start to help out as a community together. But if you did like this video, guys, and you did find it helpful, please consider leaving me a like down below. I really actually would appreciate it because I'm kind of new to making Destiny videos, but I am going to be making more on my channel. And if you have liked what you've seen so far, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. But thank you very much for watching, guys, and have a great day.